Hey everyone, my name's Walter and I'm back here once again with the same subject, nice guys. Nice guys aren't just guys who are nice. You're still allowed to be nice. These are guys who say they're nice, but their actions usually prove otherwise eventually. They also like to put down other men. They go by many different names: nice guys, decent guys, good guys, a human being worthy of romantic love. It's all the same thing though. You'll see. So let's just begin with nice guys from Reddit. I liked starting with posts yesterday, so let's do that again. Posts are from Reddit nice guys. That's why all these girls are getting their hearts broke, is because they get creeped out by the guy trying to have something real. It's really shitty. Makes me want to be an asshole again. I said I was just bored because you don't like that I'm trying so hard. Trust me though, you'll find plenty of guys that treat you like nothing. But I'm the creepy one, right? Because I actually care? And now you don't want to respond because I'm texting you paragraphs and it makes me seem needy, right? Thanks for reminding me that being the nice guy never works. Well, he seemed to realize that she was going to call him creepy over this, but then he decided to do it anyway. This is not how you be a nice guy, by the way. I'm sure you have a billion of guys trying to talk to you and hear you are beautiful all the time, but I think you are one of the most beautiful women I have seen, and want to get to know you for more than looks, even if just as friends for now. If your personality, sense of humor, etc. is anywhere near as good as your beauty, then you are perfect, and I'd like to get a chance to develop something real with you one day. But hopefully we can get to know each other, even if just as friends. That doesn't really inspire confidence that it's going to be a good friendship, does it? It doesn't sound like someone who'd be happy if it just stayed that way. Right before this convo, I literally thanked him for being there for me after I went through so much. For context, I'm texting him right after ending a very toxic relationship that night, and after asking me for sex and being rejected, he sent me this. LOL, no, this is totally fine. Blank's a lot better than I am, so yeah, LOL. I'm totally fine. Oh so fucking dandy. Totally not like I'm mad as fuck because I wasn't even worth the effort, but that's okay. I'm moving on. I hope you are successful in your endeavors and I bid you farewell. I liked you for so long and never tried to go for you when you dated someone else. I won't see your response, by the way, but if you ever did want to give it a shot, get someone else to tell me, or message my number if you are in an emergency, but that's it. This comment sums up what I was going to say. Imagine him sending this and still thinking about the possibility of you being interested enough to ask someone else to message him for you. Yeah, the friendship was worth an awful lot to him, wasn't it? This is Steve. I cannot believe you would tell your mother I asked you on a date. I just offered to buy you a drink. I just figured you needed some attention. That's what I get for trying to be nice. Never talk to my family again. You would be lucky to have a man like me in your life. I'm glad my daughters didn't turn out like you. Fuck off, I'm blocking your number. She's 24, so this wasn't illegal, but it was still quite creepy, and he's married. Girls look prettier and more beautiful when they smile in their pictures. I don't like when they make weird faces in their pictures. I understand they're just having fun or whatever. Maybe trying to get extra attention or likes, but please just smile. I love that, and I think it looks way prettier and more beautiful when I could see that smile. It's a lot more attractive than sticking out your tongue, too. I don't know, that's just my opinion. Don't hate on me for it, LOL. Oh, well, I guess it's a good thing this guy's the selfie guru, and everyone asks him first to make sure they don't do something foolish, like sticking their tongue out instead of smiling. Okay, it's now time to get to today's story. Just when I was finishing yesterday's video, I came across this story that I also wanted to tell. Coworker stories are always really awkward. This story is from Reddit Nice Guy Stories, as usual. Creepy coworker quickly becomes obsessive. Hi there, I'm new to experiences with nice guys, and honestly wasn't really sure where else to put this. This is a long one, so I'll put a TLDR at the bottom. I've got about 6 months of history with a former coworker who quickly went from a sweet guy that I would consider a friend to an obsessive, devious human being. I'd like to start by saying that I am very empathetic, very trusting, and I always look for the good in people. A very easy target for someone like this person. For the sake of keeping things anonymous, we'll call him Jim. I actually first knew of Jim's existence when he added me on a social media platform in 2016. I never spoke to him other than commenting on his posts every once in a while. He was on my social media page for a few months and then randomly disappeared, and I didn't see or hear from him again. Not until I started my most recent job. I started this job in November of 2019 and was originally employed as a stalker. Within about 3 weeks of stalking, I was asked to be trained for the department that Jim worked in. They told me to find an employee from that department to escort me to the back and train me so that they could use me anytime they needed help. Well, the person I ran into was Jim. It wasn't long before I was officially moved into that department, by the middle of December, because I was a lot better at doing that than stalking, and my hours lined up better anyway. Being new and not entirely sure how to do much in that area, I usually asked Jim for assistance because he was nice to me and answered my questions with patience, even if I came to him for the same thing over and over again. A couple of people had already informed me that he was strange and that I should steer clear of him, but as I mentioned, I like to see the good in everyone. About a week or so later, I was assigned as one of the closers. Normally, I closed with Jim and two girls whose names I will leave out of this story. Jim had a tendency to walk me to my car after work, and it was then that I asked him if I could add him on social media again. Keep in mind, I thought he was actually rather nice at this point and wanted to be friends. I was already in a relationship, but didn't have many friends and thought that we got along well. It wasn't much longer after that we started texting each other outside of work. We discovered we had roughly the same tastes in music and would send links back and forth to each other while simultaneously getting to know each other. Yeah, it's almost like you have to be careful about finding anything in common with a nice guy because they're always just ready to think Milady is their soulmate because they both like the same TV show or something. Not that the author has done anything wrong. This guy hasn't shown his true colors yet, but I think he's about to. This is where things start to get strange. He discovered that I loved certain candies and would bring them in every day to work in exchange for me doing certain tasks for him at work that he didn't want to do. I figured, what the hell, at least I'm getting free food out of it. He began texting me more and more frequently after work and would make strange lewd comments. For example, I made a joke that I would haunt him if he kept pressuring me to watch a certain show that I wasn't interested in, and he would reply with, "At least I'm getting haunted by a cute girl ghost. Be sure to wear one of those Japanese schoolgirl outfits when you do that." What the fuck? But I thought he was just joking. A lot of my guy friends flirted with me and meant nothing by it. Around the beginning of March, my boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend, decided to move in together and start finding apartments. I thought Jim and I were well enough acquainted that I could share this news with him. When I told him I was moving out of town, he quickly became short and evasive towards me. I asked him what was wrong, why he couldn't be happy for me, and he said it didn't matter. "It does matter, Jim," I said. "We're friends, I'd like to know what you're thinking." Jim asked me if what he said would make a difference, and I told him I would take it into consideration. He then sent me some of the creepiest poetry I've ever heard in my life, explaining his feelings for me and how badly he wants to take me for my boyfriend. Trying to be nice, which was a major mistake, I told him that the poetry was very sweet, but I had a boyfriend and wasn't willing to abandon a relationship of over a year for a guy I didn't really know. I thought it was the end of it, but boy was I wrong. Shortly after this, he started asking me for hugs at work and would touch my boobs or my ass and play it off as an accident if I decided to hug him, which was very seldom. He would also stare at me continuously at work with pupils so dilated you would think he was on drugs. At work he was one person, but over text he was completely different. He would be sweet and soft-spoken at work, but harsh and manipulative over text. No matter how many times I brought up my boyfriend or told him I was uninterested, he took that as a bigger challenge. He explained that he wanted to change my mind before I moved. When my ex and I got approved for an apartment, I knew that my time at this job was running out, so I informed my manager when my last day would be and that I was looking to transfer. All this did was make Jim more desperate for my attention. He would ask me to hang out after work. I would refuse, and occasionally he would sit outside my apartment while begging me to hang out with him. He would beg me to tell him how I felt about him, only he wanted me to tell him how he thought I should feel about him. I know you're thinking that I should have blocked him by this point or contact police, and you're right. But I worked with the guy and was quite frankly too scared to come forward and say anything to management or law enforcement. I also refused to get my ex involved because I was afraid of what would happen if I did. I'm pretty surprised he's getting away with this hug thing. It sounds like something you'd expect from a real weirdo in high school, not an adult at work. Once my coworkers got word of me moving in with my ex, they wanted to talk to me about it continuously. "How's the moving going, Phonetic? Did your transfer go through yet? Are you excited?" If Jim heard these conversations, he would say under his breath, "Unless something changes it." I remember also being sent a text saying, "Dynamics change, so can plans." After about a month of being asked to hang out, being asked about my feelings, I finally snapped. "If I tell you what you want to hear, will you please leave me alone?" Jim, of course, said yes. "If I tell you exactly what you want, will you delete the messages? I know you'll try and use them against me if I don't." "I'll delete them if you will," he said. So I did. I told him that back in 2016 I found him attractive and that if my anxiety didn't suck so badly I would have tried to date him. That wasn't enough. He wanted something recent. I told him I suppose I still found him somewhat attractive to an extent, and if I were single then perhaps we would hook up, but I definitely was not in love with him and didn't plan to be single. He wanted me to tell him that I flirted with him at work. I never did, and I still have several coworkers that can attest against that. But I was stupid and worried about what he would do if I didn't comply, so I said I did. That seemed to satisfy him enough, and I didn't hear much out of him after that. My ex and I moved in together shortly afterward, and he asked me to block Jim. I did as he asked me to, and the next day I discovered that Jim has allegations against him, along with some proof that I am unable to speak out on for legal reasons. I connected with someone who was trying to gather evidence for the police on his case and submitted my story, along with how much I fucked up in this scenario to him. Of course, I wished to remain anonymous. Jim somehow discovered that I spoke out against him and decided to post some slander of his own. He posted that I cheated on my now ex-boyfriend with him, or at least was planning to. He even got a few of his groupie friends to play along, too. My ex, being in the fragile mental state he was in, I won't go into that for his sake, believed what Jim was saying and refused to listen to my side of the story. I was kicked out that same day and sent back to live with my mother less than a month after moving in. Jim has remained blocked and I have no further contact with him. I know he is fully aware of what he has done to me and likely brags about it because since I wouldn't be with him, he figured my ex shouldn't be either. Well, that's definitely pathetic. He can't even get what he wants, but he's definitely going to mess things up for her again. After stalking her. I wanted to make some kind of joke about how she started working as a stalker and quickly acquired a stalker. So there we go. I don't know enough about the story to comment about what the boyfriend did, but Jim seemed perfectly fine with touching people who didn't want to be touched, so who knows what else he'd do. Definitely never be this accommodating with a nice guy. Let's just read a few more posts. I've been doing longer videos lately. Hey, I got your number from blank and was wondering if you wanted to go out this Saturday. I don't even know who this is. It's blank. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to say no. And in the future, you should ask someone for their number directly. Alright, well fuck you, whore. Bet you'd say yes if it was that asshole Chad asking. Kill yourself, cunt. I just made the assumption we were talking about Chad. Does this outburst really make him feel any better? Well, hey there. What's up? My energy in comparison to yours. What? You asked what's up. I'm saying my energy level in this conversation is up in comparison to your boring what's up message that indicates to me that you're really just wasting both of our times by messaging me, because you're clearly not going to give me the time of day. You're not that cute. I was hoping you would have a good personality, but at this point I'm not interested either. Have a blessed day, and good luck to whatever it is you want out of this app. Hopefully not a relationship. He's so smug for no reason. I didn't even have to talk to him, and I feel like punching him already. Alright, one more post and then we'll call it a day. That saddest part is that I'd treat her way better than any Chad would. I'd learn about her life and work with her on overcoming her struggles. I'd build up her self-esteem and worth to the point where she'd not have to wear slutty clothes for attention. I'd introduce her to great music and books. But she'd rather have Chad skullfuck her till there is snot and saliva all over her face than hold my hand. Hey, would anyone here not rather get skullfucked by Chad than holding this gentleman's hand? I'm guessing no. Anyway, that's about all the time I have for you today. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you have something to say about it, let me hear it in the comments. It helps with the algorithm or something. If you're new here and want more, there will be more, so consider subscribing to find it easier. Plus, people really define their worth by that number more than they should. Big thanks also to my generous patrons. I'll shout them out next video, which might be tomorrow, but at least sometime this week. Kinda feel like I'm losing my voice. I do have a neckbeard story I noticed that I want to cover next time. And don't quote me on this, but I think it's almost time for part 3 of Cake Puncher. I do have enough material for it. Have a great day, everyone, and make sure you don't get on the bad side of a nice guy.